everyone. Ellen Sutterth of ESP Presents and ESP Book Chats. Well, we bring page turners your way. Today we have our author. This is our full show that you guys will see. Yesterday we had our Scout Out, Shout Out, which was a 3 to 5 minutes, which is snippets. So today we have our author here, and I'm going to put her book up. I see you there. Just going to put your book up. The leaves turn brown. Hopefully everything is going well over there. And again, guys, this is Lolita Coppage. And I see that you are in the waiting room. And we are going to discuss chapter 7, 8, and a little bit of 9. It was really full, lots of things going on and happening here. Have to have my notes, girl, because there's quite a few things going on here. Oh my goodness, I got a chance to see things spiral down. I am going to let you in the room. Come on in. I'm used to being on our audio show. I was going to say in 3, 2, 1, because we do a countdown. How you doing, beautiful?
Well, hello. Well, you're not looking bad yourself, girl.
Thank you. It sounds good over there.
It does. So let's just see here. I'm making sure I got my sound up.
Okay.
How's the sound in there?
It's good. It's really good. Just come down. I need or up or however. There you go.
That's better.
Yep. Perfect. Are you tall?
No, I'm sitting. I guess I am, but I'm sitting in a chair.
Okay. I mean, if you're above 5'2", which is my height, you're way too.
Yeah, I'm 5'7".
Okay. Yeah, you're way taller than me.
Is that good? Can you see?
You know, I hear you, and then your sound go out.
Okay. You know what happened? I think I pulled away. How about? Can you see me now?
I can see you and I can hear you. Hopefully, you can stay right.
Stay here. I keep moving around. I can't move.
Okay.
So I'll just stay.
I don't know why it does that, but we're gonna keep it moving because it just. I mean, sometimes I hear your voice and sometimes I don't.
Okay.
But I do read.
I'm gonna stay right here and stay close. So
okay. Do you have any earbuds?
I don't have any. You know what? And I meant to get over there. I just don't have. I need to get some.
Okay. So I hear you now, but I don't know if you have any control over sometime when I hear your voice or not. But I hear you good.
When you can.
Okay. I'm gonna share out at this time. There's an arrow there, so I'm gonna share out this. Let's see here. Kind of share it out to those so they'll know we are in the room. And how's it going for you today?
It's going good. I have a women's conference coming up on Saturday, so I'm kind of busy with that, getting my speakers together. I'm going to be speaking and singing.
Oh,
so
great.
I'm looking forward. Yeah.
Great. You're gonna have to let us know again with that. You said it's on YouTube.
Oh, the song.
And the song, yes. The song. You're gonna have to let us know that. And okay, I am just getting it out there, and there we go.
Okay.
Share it out. So I found some interesting things here, chapter 7 to 10. I got to, but it was a lot of stuff that was happening, and the pot gets a little thicker, and I see more trouble, and I see more characters, but I'm not sure if it's the one you want me to know.
No, that was not.
Okay, I didn't think it was, but it was. I think there was a little droplet.
There's a male character that was in the previous that we meet. We meet one of the famous authors. I don't know if you're going to bring him.
Yeah, I'm going to bring him in. I did meet the famous author. The book she read, I did meet him. So let's go ahead and tell folks about yourself, backdrop of your book, and we'll get into the story.
All right. Well, again, I'm Lolita Coppage, and I'm born in Chicago. I left at 7, moved out to West Los Angeles because my mother married a foreign exchange student from Egypt. And so he was getting his doctorate, PhD in statistics. So we ended up at UCLA. So I've been raised in West LA. And writing came to me very late in life. I used to write all the time in school. It's funny, in life, you realize you have more than one talent, but you don't realize it's more focused on the singing.
Yeah.
I had the lessons and things, but in school, I would just zone out. I would write movie scripts and all kinds of little stories of occupied. But later on, I shared about how this book, I dreamt about the story, the title, and four of the main characters. Over a 20-year period, it took me for the book to come together. I grew with the book, and a lot of healing happened in my own life. So again, the character is not me per se, but there are many elements of my life in the story. So
Okay. Yes. And we're now on chapter 7. We see Marion. She arrived early. We got that, and she's waiting on Annie to show up. And she gets a call, and we see that she got some guts. Anneliese has some guts, and so they're meeting. They're meeting at. Huh?
in a way she does, and in a way she doesn't. But you're right.
She has some guts, and so Marion agrees to meet her per her conversation on the book, and it's changes. I'll just say it that way. So let's talk about that when she have and Joan is there, and they get to talking, and
Well, remember from before, Marion wasn't going to have anything to do with this, and so it's so bad. Stopped writing. So Joan and the senior editor under Marion had to go to Marion and ask her to please intervene because the book was not on schedule. And finally, Annie's best friend Tess told her, "You need to talk to somebody because the book was just going off the rails." So Annie made the call, asked Marion to please meet with her. So reluctantly, we have this luncheon. Marion agrees because she doesn't want to get in trouble with the company because the book is behind schedule. So that's why they're meeting.
mhm. We get to see that, when we talk about books. Hello, Melvina. I see Melvina there. She is an author as well, and she is an author of a book that talks about PTSD, the Willie Gray story. So she is the author of that, and combat-related PTSD. So hello to you, Melvina. And like you say, the project is getting a little behind, and they're losing money.
Yes, they are.
And I see Sam is in there.
Yeah, Sam finally went. Sam is under, Joan is underneath Sam. Sam is underneath Marion. So
Hmm.
the, so the whole project is stalled because Annie stops writing because Evelyn has taken over so much. If you write a story and you have something in your heart and what you're trying to say, and somebody comes along and has a different idea. I remember when I was going to writing classes, and then people would interject in your story, when you would read, and they come up with all kinds of different things, and it can kind of get you rattled over, what your original goal was,
Hmm.
and that's Annie. She loses sight of everything because it's not the story that she wanted to tell.
I was looking at that, and just imagine you as an author. And hey, Wendy, how you doing? Wendy Arced. She is someone who lives here in Newport News, Virginia. I call her my backbone. I'm just letting her hear that. But she is definitely there in our book club, and she does some wonderful things to assist me with in doing what I do. We see this project, like I said, is losing money, and there's some things that it just get off. I'm just here laughing because here you have an unknown author, very inquisitive about how did her book get there. And
I know.
as
The
Rose
first,
tell her, don't, eventually Evelyn is talking to her, and I can't make this up, so I had to really write down what Evelyn told her. She told her, to ask her during that time, where did you come from? When she was asking her, well, how did my book get there? Who do you know who sent it? She
Right.
said, where did you come from? Where did you come from? Do you have a literary agent?
That's
Those
Mary.
kind of things,
That
you
was Mary.
know?
Marion wanted to find out. She was like, wait a minute. Marion's the one that wanted to find out what the heck is this?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. Where did you come from? Where's your literary? She was being honest with it. Can I be honest with you? And then she said, you an unknown. Pretty much you should be happy that it's been your manuscript, however it got there, is in the hand of a big printing company, huge, and Rosario and Robins, and then you got them to represent you. And how do you know Evelyn? So that right there, I was like, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, she don't get it.
Well, no, she doesn't because she doesn't get it. Why is she there again? Why is so with the conversation with Marion? So Marion at the beginning, like we said, didn't want to have anything to do with the project because she thought Annie had connections,
Hmm.
connections with Evelyn to get in there, and so yeah, the whole thing is preposterous. Excuse me, to Marion. So she's like, wait a minute, before we even talk about this, who are you, lady? Been here the first, and they're like, I have no idea who I am, why I'm here.
It was too funny. And then she tell him, I don't know how. I see Marion there. Thank you for coming.
Hey,
And there's just so many things. How did your manuscript get here? And couldn't even say nothing. Anneliese
no,
could not say a word. And she's a first timer. And she's just, you get to see, okay, writing this, Lolita, and as you go through this, as you yourself being a newly published author, how did you feel about those things? Number one, as Annalise was asking, did you find yourself in some of this verbiage as you go down and see her story unfold about why is she there and being an unknown
yeah,
artist or publicist?
yeah, I can understand Annie a lot because she would have never, in the first place, sent that manuscript there. She didn't have the confidence in herself as a new writer to go to a top-notch publishing firm in New York or Chicago. So I understand Annie a bit. Really, her whole thing, what is going on here? It's almost like being in the Twilight Zone. And
Mm-hmm.
so I understand Annie a lot because she doesn't know how they why everybody's being so unkind to her. That's why she's going to Marion because Evelyn has been horrible to her, talking to her terribly whenever she has been ignoring her. And so when she goes there, she's just really at a loss because she has signed this contract. He is behind, is losing money. She could get sued. So I can relate to Annie a lot. That's why I'm saying she goes against her
I don't know if you.
own
I don't know if
instincts.
they can hear you, but you are breaking up some. I don't know if you have to put the phone up really, really close to you. But can you guys hear her? Is she breaking up to you guys? Let me know, please.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, yeah, but you was breaking up a little bit, but I can
Yeah, I
can hear you.
got a call that came in and I had to
Swat it
disconnect the
away.
call.
Good. Um, as you were saying, you can kind of see that in yourself. And go ahead and finish that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be like you were saying last week with Annie. Because look, if you're there, who cares how it got there? Ride with it, enjoy the success of it. That's kind of my take with what I was getting from you, like figuring out what's the matter with Annie's. Okay, you're there, so just do it. All right.
Hmm.
But when you're insecure, it doesn't feel worth anything in the first place. That they don't deserve to be there, they don't have the talent to be there. Um, that's the backdrop of what I'm setting up. How this woman is going to be so devastated
Mm.
Because
We
really,
do also see.
she's not prepared.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, she's not prepared for any of this. And yeah, if somebody, if you, okay, think about your life. If you, let's say, the president of some company, you know, wanted to hire you and you didn't send in your resume and all this kind of stuff, I mean, I think you'd be a little bit kind of shaken. So it will make a lot, because a lot of people go, why did you write that? I mean, manuscript coming to a publishing company without the writer knowing it. But it all ties in at the end. You'll see how
I
devastating.
I really like the way
It,
you wrote this, and to see this, and it has me on edge because I'm trying to figure out. I still don't know who did it, and I still, I'm thinking, okay, only people I know is her friend Tess and her husband seemed to stand away from the project,
boy,
and she asked him to stay away. I keep calling her a husband, but live-in boyfriend,
yeah,
live-in
that's
boyfriend.
important.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Her
Well,
live-in boyfriend. So we get a little further, and she's still asking. I love this part. Okay, so she's still asking about the manuscript, and then she let her know what I don't know who sent it. And at this time, she feels like that a child. She
yeah,
feels
that's what
like she's a
Marion,
child. Not saying that Anneliese feels like a child,
yeah,
but
but Marion thinks of her as,
as a child, like she got to hold her hand, and it's like she's in a complicated world with this girl here who don't I don't want to say she don't deserve it, but she doesn't understand how deserving she is to get in here. But then she still questions how, and she gets really nervous. Now we have her uh, not even understanding this thing. She feels really lost out, and Evelyn is really trying to talk to her and get her to know that this is a unique case, if you would say it, and she doesn't understand from this perspective. Someone would look at this as a dream job,
yeah, exactly.
to get in there, to get in there.
That's what I'm
So why was it important for you to show the readers here of how it play out? You have a big publishing company. You have an unknown author, and at the same time, I think they still giving her grace. It's like she's getting a lesson learned, even though she don't know. And they're having patience with her. What do you think about that part? Why was it so important for you to show those steps to um, Annalisa getting that quick maturing lesson?
Well, the thing of it is um, as you read it, she's not ready for this. She is not ready for this break. Nowhere in any way. I'm writing to let people see that you need to follow your instincts. You need
Mm-hmm.
to follow. I think I was telling you that before, that in writing, there's always one of my writing teachers was saying that in a book or in a movie, there's always at the beginning something, that a phone call that comes in, a letter, something that the hero, or whether if they answer the phone, it's a whole different life, or if they don't answer it, there's a pivotal moment. The action that they take them on a course, there's going to be a positive or a negative course. Okay, if so if something comes up in your life and you feel in your gut that this is not the right thing, you need to do a little bit more, explaining, finding out what's going on before you step out. That's the point of when I'm writing. This woman is not prepared for any of this. This is really not what she wants. She's not into. She didn't write the book to be famous. She wrote about violence. She was writing. Really was kind of like her. I guess it's just a coming to stage. As a new artist, she's writing her story, but she wasn't thinking about fame at that time. And that is, yeah, everybody that writes and sings is
Mm-hmm.
not looking to be, top bestseller. I mean, I'm kind of that way. I like to do things
Mm-hmm.
because I the, of course, I'd be silly to say if I didn't want to be the bestseller.
Right.
But when I write and sing, it's for my own pleasure. It's stuff I love to do. And if it blessed by it, fine. If not, but I am not one who is trying to be, go up there on American Idol or do any of that stuff. So that's her personality.
Not the one to be going up American Idol.
Yeah,
Okay, so we see that. Like I said, I had to really look at this story. It's really good having you follow your way through. And so she's telling her, like unique, and she's kind of like have this voice. You see Evelyn. We'll see her a little bit more. How Evelyn is taking this story and just kind of weaving it to her own. And at the same time, you have Anneliese, who's trying to have a voice, but there's a lot of power.
yeah. You
There's a
don't
lot of power
have.
ahead of her,
Yeah, you don't have.
no matter how loud she try to make her voice, you know.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of things that's going there. And then now she has to travel again. She doesn't know what she's getting. This is causing her to go on tours, stuff
Yeah,
that
which is
she's
the
not
next,
ready to.
because the next chapter we skip 2 years ahead. Okay.
Yes, yes. And I was getting to that 2 years, and now it is chapter 8. So
Right.
this is a fine tooth comb. There was a lot of details in chapter 8, but I'm going to reset before we get into chapter 8, and I'm going to kind of comb through gently because chapter 8 had a lot of stuff in there, and now we see that she's hitting the sauce. It's too much for her. So
Right.
I'm resetting. Wendy, thank you for being here. Marion, thank you. And I don't know if Melvina is still there. Thank you guys for being here. And thank you those who are sharing, swiping, and sharing. Thank you for that. Again, I guess is Lolita. I was about to call you your character name, but Lolita Coppage. And we're talking about her book, um, The Leaves Turn Brown. So here we want to just kind of comb through a little bit. We're at chapter 8. Like you said, it's 2 years later. And then here comes now she's Annie. So I noticed how her voice, sometimes Annalise, and sometimes she's
Lisa.
passionately, yep,
Every
sometimes she's passionately.
There's only one person that's gonna. Everybody else calls her Annie. Okay.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay, but
Yeah,
that's
so
further down.
yes. And we see that there. We see that she's going into the cabinet. She's going late night, hitting the sauce, seeing if her husband is around. And he kind of sees her do this. And so now
Well,
that's what we see right there.
why she is sitting the sauce more so.
Exactly. Why? Why is she doing this? And so she just kind of hiding this and everything. And then in this same chapter, you see a 2 years back and forth. She's talking about the 2 years back and forth with the revision of the book.
Now the book is coming out.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about that.
So now she's going to go on this big, huge tour. So Rosaro Robins have come behind her. They've given her a publicist. They've given her an agent, and now they've set up this 30-week, I forgot how many weeks tour,
30
and they're starting.
city book tour.
They're going to start her out in New York, one of the top morning talk show hosts in New York. And so she is absolutely terrified.
And it gets ugly. I like the way you show how it got ugly in there because she started off, like you said, in New York. She's a new publicist now, and then she's being interviewed. But before the interview, we see her looking at her reviews. Now that's what I want to ask.
Now that's the next.
I don't know if you look.
That's the next chapter. Okay, so that's the whole thing happens in. Yeah. Yes.
So we see that she's preparing for this, as you say.
Right.
She's preparing for the literary world, and
Right.
in this one, in chapter 8, still it shows this really quick in chapter 8 with her doing this with her, and she is getting prepared for the literary world with Rosario, the huge company behind her, and she's seeing more and more that she doesn't fit this mold. Let's talk about that.
Hope. At first she started off with the wine at the very beginning of it. She started taking a little bit of, but now it's into full bourbon. and whiskey. So she's escalating. Yes. So there's conflict with Nathan because she wants him to go with her, and
Mm-hmm.
he's not been supportive at all in any form or fashion. He's just really upset with her because he feels like, oh my goodness, grow up. You know, you're not facing a firing squad, and people would just die to be in the position that you're in. This is a
Mm-hmm.
big deal. And she's like, well, maybe for somebody else. I don't want this. Is not who I am. Thank you for the hearts. This is not who I am. I don't want this. And he's like, look, you're in it now. You've got to go. You got to go for it. So that's what, we're setting that up.
I see when you said in there with Nathan, what he's where comforting her is not his
Not,
best suit. It's
no.
not his best suit. So tell us about that. Why is that being shown that it's not his best suit?
Well, I'm showing you the dynamics in the relationship. That's why I keep saying to you that it's her live-in boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're showing you there's an disproportionate, power of it's not. He's younger than he is. Okay, he's not married her. They have these kids, so there's just so much insecurity, and so he's really just kind of like very dismissive. He's not listening. So I'm setting the stage for a relationship,
Mm-hmm.
and how her drinking has a whole lot to do with the choice making, even in her own personal life. So I'm just setting it up that this woman is by herself. Even Tess, her best friend, doesn't understand because Tess is a go getter. She comes from a healthier background. In the book, that'll come out later, but Annie's mother left her when she was younger with her father who drinks. And so Annie was,
Mm-hmm.
so Tess is kind of like, look, just like Nathan, go for it. Who cares?
Mm-hmm.
Just ride. So this woman is all alone. She's all alone in this, facing all of these own demons inside and facing the world because she's going to be on this display for the whole world to see. And
Uh-oh. You went still for me. Let's see. Well, that's happening, guys. Thank you guys for coming in. I don't know if I'm getting ready to lose her. There is some tech going in on her end. Thank you guys for being here. This is an awesome story. As we say, the leaves turn brown. That is the story there. Hopefully, you guys can see it. And it did drop her off. She'll be back. Again, I'm Ellen Sutter of ESP Presents and ESP Book Chats. Where we bring page turners your way. Our guest is Lolita Coppage, and we're talking about her book, her main character, Anneliese Stewart, who, like she said, has her manuscript. She don't know how it got into the hands of a huge publishing company, and she's trying to figure that out. And meanwhile, she have top-notch editors, top-notch publishing company she's in. But what is happening, as Lolita said, is that her story is no longer becoming her story. Evelyn, who is very much in control and very much taking this story to another um, dimension, if you will. But the book is doing well. And let me see if I can get her back. Let's see. Hopefully it works for her. I'm going to invite her back, guys. And it's a very interesting story. I really enjoy it. Let's see. I'm going to try to get her back in here, see what happens. Hopefully the weather is good on her end. But it's a lot of stuff going in. And just like she said, Nathan is her live-in boyfriend. He's 13 years her senior. And we find I guess I would say, a once elated young author until she finds out what comes along with this. What has she gotten herself into? Let's see. And it is let's see if we could get her back. I'm not even sure. I'm just going to wait and see what she does. But this is a very interesting story. Those who we were on last week. So if you look at that replay, you can see well, we had the storm though, but we could get as much as we can. She's unable. She's trying to join us. Lolita, if you're out there, try to hit that camera thing, ask to request to come on, and we'll let you back in. Also, we are having a event here in Newport News, Virginia. It is our 2025 book fair, and we are inviting, we said 30, but there may be about 25 guests, and there are seats still available, 20 seats. Lock in. We cannot hold seats. Go ahead and lock in. This is going to be a great book fair. Let me see. I'm going to accept that. Let's see if that'll let her in. Also, we did our shout out. Yesterday, we got a chance to talk to Artemis Craig, and her book is a awesome book. Let's see. I don't know what happened. Hopefully, she can get back in. Hopefully she can get back in there. You guys do ask questions. If you have any questions, do ask those questions. And it was exciting. The story is very exciting. And if you are, like I said before, if you are a new writer, you would really like this. Okay. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm just reading what she wrote there. And we'll go from there. Let's see. We may have to do I'm trying to see if she says unable to come in.